You know, and then the one after them was negotiated by Patty Murray and Paul Ryan. Again, you know, with everybody else in the Congress there for photo ops, no opportunities to amend on that section or any other section. And then now the last deal, you know, was put together by Ryan and Pelosi. Again, no opportunity for the rest of us to participate, you know, in that. So, you know, you get two people, everybody else is sitting around waiting to see what happens. No opportunities to amend. You cannot run a country, you cannot run a business, you cannot operate that way. It's undemocratic. You have to have regular order. You have to have open rules where anybody can offer an amendment. And that's what's been missing. Now, Speaker Ryan says he wants to get back to that. And to some extent, I will take him at his word. Until proven otherwise. But this budget deal was not done under regular order. We did pass a transportation bill for the first time in 34 years under 34 attempts. We did pass some intelligence reforms. We did pass some educational reforms. We did pass a number of things, more in the last month since Ryan's there than we've done in the last 4 or 5 years under Boehner. So, you know, my hope is that will continue and we'll get to more open rules. So, you know, the issues and the provisions you're talking about will have a greater opportunity to be fully aired and fully debated.
Those are going away, I mean,
Yeah. Starting in the right direction.
so they can't be debated anymore, they're gonna be gone.
The payback part of the money they borrowed from Social Security?
Well, you've raised a good question. He's asked about the payback of the money that's been borrowed from Social Security. You know, back in the day, Social Security was a, call it what you like, but it was a guaranteed earned benefit by the federal government of the United States of America. And if the fund needed a little more money, you know, the tax was adjusted and we'd always see to it that the money was there. Then in the 80s, the geniuses of Wall Street said, well, we got to make sure this thing is financially secure for infinite, help me here. Ad infinitum. Okay. It's been a long time since I took a Latin class. So that's what created these massive surpluses. And so now they come along and say, well, you know, and by the way, those are based, Buddy will tell you, on some very conservative estimates. I mean, it's conceivable that there would be no need to adjust anything, you know, if we have the kind of sensible priorities that'll create jobs and growth in our economy. So we have these massive surplus. So the question, two questions. One, what do you do with it? Well, part of it's been used to fund all these wars of choice around the world. We spent $3 trillion in Iraq alone. Think about that, $3 trillion. For $1 trillion of that, we could have graduated every kid in America debt-free from college. That's roughly what the college debt is. Something wrong with that? You know, for another $1 trillion of it, we could have rebuilt our roads and our bridges. I mean, you know, trains are coming off the track, bridges are falling down. We could have taken another $1 trillion of it, and we could have given everybody a $1 trillion tax break. You know? And what have we got out of investing in that war in Iraq? We created mayhem. I'm sorry. And guess what? We still have a $2 trillion bill going forward from that war, and rightfully so. You know, the men and women who serve and are there to protect us, they came away from that badly damaged. The brain, some of them lost arms, some of us lost legs. We have a profound moral obligation to take care of them going into the future. They were there for us. Doggone it, we better be there for them. But it's going to cost another $2 trillion. So, part of that money, that surplus, has been used to finance many of these misguided priorities without having to go to the American people with a vote to say, hey, do you guys want to spend $5 trillion fixing up Iraq when we're falling apart? You know, most people say no. Even people who think it's a good idea have to ask the question, can we afford it? Of course we can. Of course we can. There are a lot of things we'd like to do in life that we just can't afford. Not one in this room doesn't have things you'd like to spend some money on. You can't afford it all. Well, the same is true of nations. So even if you think it's a good idea, you better re-examine it. Some of you know I lived in the Middle East. I've done business in the Middle East. I've studied the language. You know, I hate to admit it, but I was there at a time when we were welcome. Why wouldn't I show my face there today? You know, it's hard to imagine that we're there to help them when they just see the bombs. You know, so so having said that, you know, that surplus created some other problems in my judgment. Okay, but it's still there. And I think we very smartly invested that in U.S. Treasury notes. It's the most reliable, most secure investment by any country, any investor, anywhere in the world. And as a result of it, it's never had a year when it didn't yield a profit, and it's never had a year when it missed a payment. And according to the most conservative projections, it will be there forever. And the only way that it would not be there was if the United States of America collapses, in which event we have even bigger problems. But you have to invest it in something. So you invest it in something. You don't want it to just sit there.
The answer to the question is?
The answer to the question is?
There'll never be a repayment of what was borrowed out of Social Security.
No, it will be repaid. It has.
When? And by who? We never hear anything about it.
Yeah. No, it has to be repaid in the same way that we honor all of the U.S. Treasury notes that we put out. We're paying them off every day. Every day. So they will be paid off.
Is a portion of that going back to Social Security then?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that
yeah.
contributes to the excess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A huge portion of it. Do you know what the percentage of the,
Income is from the interest on
yeah,
T-bonds?
it's pretty high.
Yeah, I don't at the moment, but it's,
Seaman said about 18% of the Social Security fund is the returns from investment in the bonds. Yeah, yeah, good question. Yep, one more question.
How about taking the income tax off Social Security that people are drawing?
Well, I think that's a good idea.
We paid tax on
Yeah.
that to begin with, not get used
Yep.
it for 50 years, and now they tax us when we do get it.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna support that in Minnesota.
Good for you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have another meeting. We have another meeting in Coquet. I can't thank all of you enough for being here. I gotta tell you, where I started, you know, this country's been pretty darn good to many of us in our generation at my age, and you know, having been involved in the community, having been involved in business, having been involved in labor, having been involved in government and politics, to have an opportunity to step up and pay it forward has been the greatest joy and opportunity of my lifetime. I want to thank you for that, and to let you know, I don't know where it comes from, but I'm still good for 12, 15 hours a day. And I don't know if any of you saw it, but a couple of the major universities and the Washington Post did a rather empirical study. You know, bills that have been introduced, that have been passed into law, signed by the president, and holy cow, you know, your congressman ended up being one of the 10 most effective members of Congress in the United States. Not there, a dumpster in the minority. Show them a little more, still get something done. Thank you.